Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Sir, it is a proud privilege of the students and the teachers of our school to have an interview with the Honorable Commissioner of KV Saghatan, Shri Avinash Dixit. Sir, we have gathered here with several queries and aspirations, and we hope that our interaction with you will be highly enriching. Sir, first of all, I'd like to tell all of the people who are present here. So, this is our principal, Dr. A.K. Sharma, our editorial board with Chief Editor, Mrs. Anita Benjamin, editors, Mrs. Chitra Mukundal, and Mrs. Anjali Atri. I myself am the student editor, and Bhavya Joshi, and the assistant student editor is Shikha. We have our head girl here, Nisha Chakravarti, Rupesh, Jyoti, Ratanjot, Sanjana, Brijesh, Mayank, Siddharth, Lakshya, and Tan. Thank you.
And Dr. Shahida Siddiqui, retired principal of Cambridge.
First of all, I would like to know, how do you visualize, or what is your perspective of an ideal KVI?
See, I have been here for a very short time, only about 8 months I have completed. But from any school, I would think that the KVI, an ideal KVI, should be one who is not only good in academics, has a well-rounded personality, and KVI, I mean that person who is like passing out of school now after completing his education. So he should be very well equipped to face the challenges of life which he is going to face in his education, or whether he takes up a job, whatever. So because this is the philosophy of KV, we expose you to so many activities, so many things, and try to develop all those qualities, all those skills which you are going to need in your life. So I think an ideal KVI would be someone who is ready to take on the world and succeed.
So my question to you is that you've been appointed as the highest office of the Commissioner of KV Saghatan. So what was that driving force that let you follow your childhood dream?
See, I don't think that being the Commissioner of KVS was my childhood dream. Actually, to tell you very frankly, I have not even heard of KVS earlier. I mean, it is like one of the jobs which has been given to me without ever any certainty of my becoming Commissioner KVS. I could have as well gone to some other ministry. But having become Commissioner KVS, I am trying to do the best I can do in this job. And as far as the childhood dreams are concerned, and the driving force is your wish to succeed, ambition, wish to succeed, but tempered with sound principles. Ambition without control is also not good. So I would say the driving force has been to do whatever I am doing as well as possible, and if possible, the best.
Sir, is there any quick mantra of success that you would like to share with us?
There is no quick mantra of success, and like what has been said in the Gita, that you should work. Don't worry about the result. If you do good work, good results will definitely follow. The quick mantras of success may bring you success for some time in the short run, but in the long run, it always leads to a failure only. Though if you do hard work, success may not seem coming very quickly, but definitely it will come, and it will always be good for you and for the society as a whole. Because any short mantra for success means that you are succeeding at somebody else's expense. So like whether it is the stock market, people that make so much of money in a short time but ultimately end up in jail and they don't do much better. So it's better to be slow and steady in this. And it's only hard work which will bring you success with honesty and all that, nothing else.
Sir, today's world is technology and media driven. So how do you think that this is impacting the life of youth in our country?
I think technology, there are two different aspects to your question. One is technology and the other thing is media driven. So as far as technology is concerned, it has made everybody's life simpler. And One example is this only, that you all are making good use of it, and you don't have to do the tedious job of writing, remembering, typing, and all that. So technology has definitely made life simpler. It will make life simpler in future also. Though of course there are related issues, like too much reliance on technology leads to pollution, some technologies may not be environment friendly, then it leads to health issues. People don't do much of exercise or physical work, so they end up not being that healthy. As far as media-driven is concerned, what kind of media-driven thing you are interested in? Because media drives a whole lot of things.
Yes, media is like the publications or the means of transfer of media, like newspapers and books.
No, that is fine. But media,
E-media, like computers.
no, that is fine.
E-learning.
The media has very different roles,
Yes.
and some roles which are not to be played by them, but they still do that. When you say media-driven, what I understand from media-driven is that media, media is a very powerful tool now. Because if every day in the newspaper, in the TV, you listen something is told to you, you tend to believe it. So that way, media is a very powerful tool. It can actually form your opinion, not only your, in a sense, public opinion. But media cannot highlight all the issues. It can be selective about those issues. So that way, there's a whole lot of responsibility on media. We talk about responsible media, but not everybody would be responsible. So media-driven, if we can use our own sense of good or bad and see through the media campaign and try and see that everybody gets equal attention, at least in our scheme of things. Because there are so many cases which have happened where, because of media highlights, something is done, but so many other similar cases nobody even looks at. So being media-driven, it's good that media gives you information, but media should be a responsible media, and you should have, because you should have the responsibility to see what is good and what is bad. So it has to be, whatever media says has to be further filtered by you, in the sense that believe what you feel is correct. Don't just go by what media says.
So we all are very curious to know about the Honorable Commissioner as a person. So would you like to share with us that insight into your personality, like your family background or your academic and career achievements?
Whatever you want to ask me, my family is predominantly a family of civil servants. My father was in the state civil service, and my sister is in the judicial service. My younger brother is in the railway engineering service. So everybody in government service only. And future, I don't know. I have a son and a daughter. Daughter is in class 10, son is in class 5. So I hope they'll do something better than government service in life. And academic achievements, in my view, don't have much of an importance. I was a good student, so I got very good marks. But if you ask me to say one single achievement, I would say in class 10 I got 100 out of 100 in maths. And those days in UP board, I was in the state board. It was very rare. So that is one achievement which I still remember, because people also used to always say that this is a student who got 100 out of 100. I don't know, maybe examiner was too lenient, but somehow that happened.
I'll interrupt there. That UP board is very strict board, and it's very difficult to get 100 out of 100. I'm looking for the first time the person who has got 100 out of 100
In UP board.
in UP board, because they are generally, if you are getting first class, it means you are above average. UP board is very strict in that sense. So sir, congratulations, and
This is one achievement. Otherwise, there are a whole lot of things which I could have talked about. I got into IIT also, did my electrical engineering from there. But still, that 100 out of 100 in class 10 is something which has always been there.
So can I further the question? Your pets likes and dislikes, and probably your favorite movies and books.
4 questions. As far as likes are concerned, I always like a job well done. If somebody does his job well, I like that. Even if, to the best of his ability, if a person is, let's say, not that good, but still he tries, does something, I really like that. And Dislikes, if somebody lies to me, I really dislike that. Because I am otherwise a very lenient person. I tell everyone, whatever you want to say, tell me. But if somebody lies to me despite that, I feel very, very let down. And what else? Movies. How many? Movies, actually, there are so many movies, but I think if you want to name a few, Casablanca is one, Sound of Music is another. So these are movies which I can watch anytime. I have a DVD at home. So I can watch it.
The latest one.
Latest one, Three Idiots is one which I like recently. I rarely see movies, and or if I see it, is all kids movies like Harry Potter and all that. Which
So we all are huge fans of Harry Potter.
I have read all the Harry Potter books, but movies I generally sleep through because after a point it gets boring. The latest one, have you seen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The
Deathly Hallows Part 1.
I have seen.
Sir, it's a fantasy.
It is boring. No, it is a few weeks back. I think 2 weeks.
So my question to you is, environment awareness is becoming a major thrust area on the context of global warming. So do you think that there should be a major shift in academic curriculum towards such burning issues?
I think already climate change is being introduced in the curriculum, and of course it should be done. And I think people are working on that. I think that your textbooks have something about climate change, no?
Yes, sir.
But like climate change as a stream or a subject is going to be introduced in schools, and it should be done because you are going to be the future citizens of the world, so you should be aware of the issue.
So my question is that a student passing out of 12th is not suitably equipped to take up any job. Should there be any shift in curriculum towards vocational training and education? And what all can KV do for that in a year or two?
See, this problem is there in India. Partly starts from the kind of attitudes we have. In our society, any work which is done by hand is considered to be inferior. We all want to become doctors and engineers, and we all want to become government servants or so-called glorified clerks who don't have to work. Physical work is something which we look down upon as a society. That is one problem with vocational education and why people are not equipped to take up a job. We only focus on academics, try and get into either of the two streams, engineering or medicine. But the point is that yesterday only we had this discussion. I think there are about 39 million or 390 million children who are in class 9 to 12. But when they go, there are only 1 million jobs. So those 38 million people will end up doing something else for which they are not equipped during their academic career. Or just to give you an example, even engineers, like an electrical engineer, throughout his curriculum is never told that how his house is wired. So he can maybe design a fancy machine, but cannot fix if the part of his house doesn't have electricity, he would find it very difficult to fix. So this is the problem. But of course, as you rightly said, we should have. And the government is thinking on those lines. We had recently gone to Germany. So Germany is very good in vocational education. So there what they do is a unique kind of system. Maybe I suggested, maybe they will follow that. A person who is interested in learning a particular vocation has to apply to a company. I mean, there everything is privatized. So apply to a company and say that I want to become an apprentice. So he becomes an apprentice. In the school, he is taught the same thing. It may be related to hospitality sector or even related to office work. And after studying, he goes, works there for 2-3 hours. And this continues for many years. After 3-4 years, when the company feels that he is well equipped and he's passed all those things, then he takes up a proper job for a few years. Then he goes to another school where he's taught higher skills. And then he does the job. So that is why you will find that even engineers in Germany or abroad, any place, they do the work with their own hand. In our setup, we will have the engineer, he will have some assistant or an overseer who will do the job, but he will not take up a wrench or a class and do it himself. So the twofold problem, one is the attitude and then the setup. Setup, of course, slowly it is coming. Vocational education is being given a push.
Thank you, sir. Nowadays, student empowerment has become watchword of today's world.
So there should not be a student body who can actively take part in the making the major decisions in that Sanghatan level.
See, I think we have recently done something about the student body in a school, that you should have prefects, you should have this, all that. Already schools were having all that, but I mean, it has been kind of way institutionalized that every school will have, and that body can also possibly take part in decision making. Yes, of course, at the Sanghatan level, we don't have that. But let us see how this system works in schools. And then we will devise a system by which maybe some student representatives could be there in the board also, or maybe at least we can take their views on various policy initiatives. It's a good thing.
So, as you know, the comprehensive continuous evaluation has been introduced at the secondary level. There have been mixed reactions to this. What is your opinion on this CCE?
See, I am not an educationist, but as a father, I feel CCE is not really, I mean, that I feel only. So don't quote me on this, because if you say that Commissioner says CCE is bad. But I have a feeling that CCE has done 2-3 things. One is that earlier there used to be one board exam, class 10. So even if you, let's say, don't do so well in your other exams, but do well in that exam, that is what counts. So pressure was there, but pressure was a one time, let's say, limited to 2 months, 3 months pressure. But now it has been distributed all over the academic year. So every week or every 2 weeks, you have to do something. You have to perform there. So that way pressure has been distributed. And I find that children have to work harder in this system. Because earlier they were working hard only for 2-3 months and they got away with that. But now throughout the year, you have to work. Equally difficult for the teachers, not only to do the assessment and also to maintain their objectivity. So it's very difficult to be objective when you have to grade a student again and again and again. And third thing is that somehow I feel that a little bit of pressure is good, because in real life you have to work under pressure, you have to perform under pressure. So if we make our children very, very, let's say, not very attuned to handling pressure, it may not be very good for them. But this is my personal view only. Otherwise, government says CCE is good, so it must be good. And only after 5 to 10 years, when this whole lot who's going through this CCE kind of evaluation, when they reach college and other higher classes, we'll get to know. That is the problem in this sector. Any change you make, impact will be known only after 10 years.
So my last question is, the new year is around the corner. Can we have a special message from you for the students, teachers and staff of our Vidyalaya?
See, my favorite thing is only one which I have been saying everywhere. Whatever you do in life, try to be the best in it. Even no work is bad, no work is good. But you have to be the best in that, whatever you do. And the world will recognize you. So we should strive towards this kind of excellence in every sphere of life.
So I wanted to ask one question. So which Harry Potter character is your favorite?
So everybody's favorite is Harry Potter.
My favorite character is Voldemort.
No, that is true. But I think Harry Potter is good.
So are you just going on the character that it shows that Harry Potter is like good this side and Voldemort is evil? Are you going on that basis, or you just like the acting of the Harry Potter?
No, I just like that fact that a boy who is been made an orphan, and he's not very good in studies also, magical studies or whatever.
Modern magic.
But he somehow manages to overcome. So this is what I said.
It's in his blood. It's in his blood.
No, it may be in his blood, may not be in his blood, but
According to the movie.
according to the movie. But the point is that a person who has all the disadvantages, but still comes out of it somehow, due to sheer courage or conviction. So that is how that character comes out, that he is doing, he's fighting so much of evil only because of his courage.
Good fortune also.
Fortune always favors the brave. You have to be brave first, then fortune. Anyway, it's a debatable issue.
which is your favorite sport, or do you like any sport or follow something like that?
See, these days I'm forced to follow football because my son likes football. So you can ask me about all the foreign clubs, Arsenal, Man U, but as a child I used to play cricket. I still play, and our service is having a match on 17th. I'm still in their team. I'll go and play without any practice, of course. Sanskriti.
So why didn't you prepare your children to be in KV?
I told you before coming here, I didn't know anything about KV, especially the KVS system. Because somehow in my family, nobody ever studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya, nobody has worked with Kendriya Vidyalaya. So it is a totally new organization.
Now if you get a chance that you should transfer your children to KV, would you do that?
But my children are not ready. They don't want to leave their school. Because they have been there for the last 6 years. And they have friends. So of course, my father used to get transferred maximum stay used to be 2 years. So from class nursery to 12th, I must have studied in at least 10 schools of all types, but not a KV.
Sir, thank you for giving us your precious time.
No, I really enjoyed this interaction.
Any other thing you want?
Anything else you want to know, you can ask me. Now your prepared questions are over. So you can ask me.
So, what would you prefer in games, media, or study? I mean, would you prefer equally all of them, or you say that study is more important than games and media?
If you're very lazy, then you will spend it in gaming or in book reading or something like that, watching TV, movies like that. How do you spend your leisure time?
I read books. Books have always been my favorite. TV, I mean, it all depends. See, it all depends on the type of, the kind of time you have, and also the kind of age group you are in. So now these days, you may want to spend your leisure time in a different manner. If I was your age, I would have maybe done different things.
So, who idolizes you in your life, till now? Who idolizes you? From you, from where you got inspiration?
Do you idolize?
Nobody idolizes me.
Whom do you idolize?
From where did you get your inspiration?
My father.
In California, there's a university of a series of books, the Twilight Saga. Do you think India can have that? A university on books?
See, India's biggest challenge is first that we should be able to educate all our citizens. So the priorities here are a little different. I mean, first of all, everybody should go to school. There are still so many children who do not go to school. So we have to do first. Now this Twilight Saga, I think it's a series of books, 3 books.
4.
4 books. And these movies have also been made. But I don't think this is a sustainable thing. If you make, let's say, a university on just one series of books, and it's about vampires, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, it is about.
So, how long do you think will it last?
I don't know.
It is not a sustainable thing. It may last, and then with the kind of resources that USA has, they can have all kinds of institutions, but we would have it. It's difficult to. We have to productively employ our resources. First, ensure that everybody gets educated. Then maybe we'll someday reach that stage where we can have universities which are devoted to a particular theme. And, I don't know what useful thing will come out of that. Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I searched about it on the net.
Because even those books are very boring.
Then after reading,
So you have said that you love reading books. What kind of books you are interested in, and who is your favorite author?
See, my favorite author has changed over the years.
So you don't have.
What is it currently? Who is it
I'll
currently?
tell you. Initially, when we started, then we used to read all kinds of books. So a book which really gave you inspiration was Mahatma Gandhi's autobiography, My Experiments with Truth. I really used to think. And then when I grew up in life, then there were doubts. Maybe it's not all that good. These days, people have a lot of doubts about Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy. They say that it succeeded in India, but failed everywhere else. And today, if you want to try that, it may not work. Then, in between, I read a book called 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. That was like my favorite book, favorite author for some time. These days, recently, meaning a couple of years back, I started reading this author called Polo, I don't know whether you So the Alchemist is presently my favorite. I don't know, it might change.
Sir, for the commerce students, which is the best aim in the
Commerce.
MBA or CA. These are the two major fields.
See, these days doing MBA with commerce background, and also if you can do, why I mean MBA, along with your BCom, if you could do your CA, that I think gets you a very good job these days.
Become honor.
And then you complete your CA also along with that. That will be very good if you can get into some good college like SRC. Everybody dreams of that. And on top of that, after a couple of years of working, MBA if you do after you have some work experience, that will help you a lot. It will immediately place you in a higher bracket.
Why study forces flourishing in our nation now? Commonwealth, Asia.
See, you have to look at things. Life is all about weighing your pros and cons. If I ask you how many people in India play cricket, it may be millions of people. But how many succeed? It would be maybe a few thousand only. So the chances of success are very low. I mean, reaching really that high level of success. But if you study then and you are good at it, and reasonably good at it, then your chances of success are much higher than what your chances of success in cricket.
Sir, luck also plays a big role rather than talent.
No, I won't say that. I would say that luck also plays a role. It may make a difference, but difference may not be marginal. But if you are doing hard work, and even if you are unlucky, you will not fail. Some amount of success will still come to you. If you are lucky, maybe better than what is luck? When the outcome is better than the effort you have put in. But even bad luck will say slightly less, or maybe you have not put in the hard work, and you are blaming it on luck. That's also possible. But luck is only that much. You have to put in the effort. Without putting in the effort, nothing will you will get.
So, for you, if not an IAS, then what?
I was an engineer anyway, so I would have continued with that. That way, my father was very practical. He sent me to an engineering course. I had a professional degree.
So, what do you think about the brain drain that is currently going on in India?
Now,
Studying here, getting educated in India, and leaving the country and working for another country, for any country else. So, what's the perspective on this?
see, on this, perspectives over the years have changed. Earlier, people used to call it brain drain. Now they call it brain gain. And this has been a favorite topic when they say that you study at the expense of Indian taxpayer and then you go and work abroad. But now, if you look at it, the remittances which we get back from Indians who are there have made our economy really very strong. And people who go and work there, they also learn skills. A lot of them are coming back. Because there is no, let's say you have a very good scientist, but he has no place where he can work in this country, then there is no point in keeping him here. Let him go to US, work there, earn money, and pay him whatever. And part of it is coming back to India anyway, because his family is here, his parents are here. So today, working abroad is not seen as a bad thing, even studying abroad. Apart from this, the fact remains that the entire Europe, the population growth is negative. Most of the societies are moving towards a scenario where most old people only would be there. So productive workforce they don't have. So India can actually position itself as a country which is going to provide the human resource to the entire world. See, who is going to run the systems in Europe? Their already average age would be above 50. So when all of them become 70, 80, who is going to run their buses? Who is going to run their power plants? So somebody from India is a country which is well equipped to do that. Only thing is that we have to equip our young people with the necessary skills to take up all those things. So very soon you will find that when we say that every sixth person in the world is an Indian, you will find that every sixth person in every town also is an Indian. You want to go abroad?
No, sir, I didn't want to go abroad, but I want to see India as the leading country of the world.
the developed country.
Yeah, as a developed country, as a leader of the world. Like, people say that USA and Russia is the best. Countries are developed, they are well equipped, they are everything. So they never say that India is good or India is like that. So I want to see that India, people should not say America, people should say India. India is above America, India is above the world. I want to see that. So
That may take some time, but it will happen
I
because,
hope it will be.
because the way other countries, see, India has a lot of advantages. One is that we have a reasonably educated, hardworking workforce.
Yes, sir.
And we have a huge market also because of the numbers. The rest of the countries, they may have everything. They may have the industry, they may have the kind of intellectual property which is required. But you need a market for any business to succeed. Where is the market going to come? The market is going to be India only. So India as it is becoming very, very important. And as if we equip our people, young people with the necessary skills, India will become the topmost country, because now I don't think there's going to be any war, military war as such. It is all going to be dictated by economics. So if we can do hard work, earn more money, and then India will be at the top, like what China is doing.
Yes, sir.
My last question. Sir, everything is career, this thing comes secondary. But first comes that humanity. How you have prepared yourself to be a good man in the life?
See, whatever I do to anyone, मैं कुछ खाने पीने को नहीं दे रहा हूँ. Whatever I do to anyone in life, I always put myself in his shoes first and think that if somebody did this to me, how would I feel? So that is how I judge all my actions, because there is no standard thing in life which can tell you that at this moment this is right or this is wrong. So that is how my principle may be right or may not be right.
We all would like to invite you in our school.
I'll definitely come. Where in Gole Market is the school? No, but at Gole Market you have that Gole Dakshana.
Just beside Arnold.
Kaliwadi Road, and then Ujjain, very close to the Kaliwadi temple.
Just beside the Arnold.
Behind RML.
I'll make a surprise visit to your school. So you all are class 12 students?
We have some 11th class students too.
These two girls are
So mainly science or
Commerce and science.
so you are well prepared for your board exams?
So I wanted to ask a question. As a handicapped student, what are the facilities that government is trying to provide to students like me?
See, first of all, the one issue is about accessibility. So all the facilities which are there, whether it is building or whether it is a market, it should be made accessible. And there should be sufficient infrastructure so that you are not dependent on somebody's help to be able to reach that. That is the main priority of the government. I don't know about your Vidyalaya. Is it friendly to you?
It is friendly, but see, I am a computer science student, and the computer lab is at first floor. So it is not accessible. I have to ask some friends of mine to carry me up there.
And there's no ramp also. See, now what we are doing is that Social Justice Ministry has recently approached us saying that all the schools, all the floors should be accessible to people like you. So they are going to give us money also to put lifts and also make ramp or whichever way is accessible. Accessibility is a major issue. Apart from that, and I think in a few years' time it would be all right. मुझे नहीं चाहिए, ये हटा लो, मेरा fast है. I fast on Tuesday. So that is one. Apart from that, I don't think once everything becomes accessible to you, then I don't think you have any problem or you are any less than other children. So accessibility issue is being addressed. You go to many other places like markets and all, you must have seen that at least some places they have made some provision for better accessibility.
Not really.
Delhi Haat, I thought that has.
I haven't been to Delhi Haat.
That has at least that facility. Where do you stay?
Gole Market, near GPU.
So then it's not very far. You can go to Delhi Art one day, see the place after your exams. आप लोग खाना शुरू करें.
Sir, we want to have a group photograph.
Where?
I think this chair would be better than this sofa.
Whichever.